Buenos dias. Wake up, wake up. You already know Omni Cosmic here. This is Love Your Soul, Not Your Role. Reconditioning the mind, the body, the soul, especially the soul and the spirit, with experience, of course, and possibly books. Most likely using books and reconditioning your mind by being aware, self-awareness. It's one of the best ways to do it. It is Soulful Saturday. Yes. I like that. I like that. Soulful Saturday. What you guys up to? Come on in, say hello, say hi. Don't be shy. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I just want to say, come in and say Grand Rising or good day, good day. How's everybody doing? Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, you bird me. About this time last year, I think, no, not last year. Maybe this time, say, I don't know, like 3 years ago or more, I was obese. I was like hitting 300 pounds. So I'm on Facebook, posting stuff on Facebook, good stuff. And, when you go on Facebook, it gives you this historical timeline where I didn't even find that video, where a video popped up of me saying, love your soul, not your role. Come see me on YouTube. And my face was round, literally. And my voice was like, and I was breathing heavy. And that was just a couple of years ago. So that just showed me how being self-disciplined and caring about my physical got me out of that state of ailment, because I had all kinds of pains and basically body pain all the time, emotional pain, emotional damage all the time. But I can tell the difference, and that in itself is an accomplishment and is a goal that I can give myself. Security, what's up, security? That I can give myself praise for. So I'm grateful for that. Happy Soulful Saturday. Take it all in. Take everything that you've done this entire week, and give it some love. Give yourself some love today. I know there's a lot of people that work every day that, can't stop, won't stop mentality. I get it. But give yourself some time to realign. I got to say that. Just realign your thoughts, your internal spirit, your soul, to fortify yourself, which we did yesterday. And today was just coming in to say hello. I may come on later on and do some Bible reading, Bible study, because it is necessary. It has some good stuff. Makes you aware of what's going on in the world, literally. So come on in, say hello. If you have any questions, go right ahead. So there's no real topic today. I just wanted to come on again, like I said, say hello, see how everyone was doing, see if you're enjoying your early morning soulful Saturday. It's about 10 o'clock here where I'm at right now. Sun's out, as you can see. I call you sun because you shine like one. So yeah, maybe I could talk about something real quick. My phone is like 35% charged. So topically, right? Hey mate, what's up? How you doing? Love your soul, not your role. It's the name of the channel. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. Appreciate you. So real quick, self-control. Let's talk about self-control. Yesterday or the day before that, I don't remember when, we talked about, mental unity with your body, how to be aware of invasive thoughts, What are your thoughts? How you think that way? How you can align your body with your thoughts? I'm fixing my OBS streaming so I can talk about, the physical aspect of the body, the central nervous system, the peripheral system, the lymphatic system, and we can learn together how those things work and how we can actually purposefully help use them to our advantage, right? Use our own system to help us with whatever goals that we have, whether they be mental goals, physical goals, spiritual, and soulful goals. So self-control is a good one. Self-control is great. When I was let's go here. When I was a kid, I didn't really have self-control. I didn't know what that was. I would just get beat. If I did something wrong, instead of being told or shown, my mom didn't have the patience for that, so she just beat me. So I didn't have self-control when I thought that I had to. That didn't teach me anything. It just taught me if I did a particular thing that I would get beat. It wasn't a pleasant upbringing at all, but hey, I'm not crying over it. It is what it is. But so self-control is very difficult to achieve, especially for Americans if you're used to having immediate satisfaction. Well, it's getting kind of burning. So immediate satisfaction for Americans is something that is taken for granted, right? Because we have a lot of stuff from all countries, and we sell and we buy and we buy and we buy and most of us just buy. So self-control is a pity out here. You can't see it. A lot of people don't have it, especially nowadays. Woo! You see people ready to just smack people just because they said or looked at them in some way, and people are just fighting off. It's wild. I mean, I thought it was wild when I was a kid. It was pretty bad when I was a kid. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but we have self-control. We have respect. You know what I'm saying? And it may not seem that way from the children that we didn't bring up, who are the Generation Xers. But self-control is very, very uplifting. Hello, hi. Who's that? Huber Wise, or I don't know how to say your name. Wow, that's your name. Wow, what's up? Wow, thank you for the like. So self-control. How do you practice self-control? You need somebody to challenge you so that you can have self-control, right? You can't have self-control if you don't have a challenge. You can't. It's this. Or, if you're playing a basketball game, a football game, and you get into it with somebody, what you want, man? What's up, dog? What you want? I owe you something, B. So, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's been cold. Ooh, it has been, like they say in New York, brick. So self-control is a good thing. Self-control is something that will lead you to see how powerful you really are. Right? It'll give you, the power of thought is the greatest power that you have. And if you can self-control, your thinking, your decision making, how you interact with others, that is the most powerful thing. Love your soul, not your own. Don't let other people control you. You control yourself. It's not easy to do. I've seen situations. I've been in situations with folks. I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk, right? And it's not easy to do that because a lot of people are highly emotional nowadays. People are in a lot of fear. But with self-control, that eliminates all of that. So one of the portions of self-discipline, self-control, self-respect, self-initiation, self-love, self-realization, all that self stuff. That's one of them. Self-control is one of the top. And you can't really practice self-control when you're constantly being distracted by outside events. Where they constantly push it in your face on your phone. They give you the news, look at this, look at the bad stuff. And, if you're able to eliminate that type of frequency, then you're good. Self-control, daily practice of that self-control. What is self-control? Find a book about it. Learn about it. It's very helpful. You know, in the heat of the moment, you know, if you're an emotional individual, you know, self-control doesn't exist, right? If if you allow your emotions to take you over, you have no self-control, you have no self-discipline, you have no self-love, you have none of that, because emotions, you know, are extremely powerful. But if you're aware, thank you, if you're aware of where these emotions are coming from, why are you emotional? You got to go back in your own history. I know why I was emotional. I was emotional because I grew up with an emotional mom. My mom was extremely, my mom would smack me in a heartbeat, Sometimes for reasons she wouldn't even say why. Smack. Whoa. So to get away from something, that kind of treatment as a child, is not easy. So basically I just used to run away. I didn't want to get smacked every time I turned around, you know, or beaten, smacked with a chancleta, hit with a, you know, basically abused all day, every day. In the summertime, man, listen, my mom beat me with an extension cord, and then one time she beat me with a hanger, a metal hanger. Yeah, my mom was, I don't know what was wrong with her. She was insane. But for a child to get away from that is really difficult. You know, I went to what we call DCF, I guess, when I was a kid. I had people abuse me all my life. So to be where I'm at now is wonderful. It's a great thing. And I am super happy that I was able to overcome those things, even at this point in time in my life. And so I have to realize, why don't I have self-control? Why didn't I have? So I got to go into, some people need psychology. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person that went through some experiences, that have utilized certain tools in order to be what I am, which is what I should have been, you know, as a child, if I really had true love in my life, which I didn't. So self-control is hard to come by nowadays. Hardly nobody has it. Hardly nobody knows. No one even knows what that is. And the people who do know, you rarely see them. You rarely see them around, because, you know, there are people right now that I see that I don't interact with anybody unless I have to. Right? So this is why I'm on this. This is why I have this channel. So my interaction, you know, is far from but many of. Right? Far from but many of. And like the older folks, so I say I'm an older folk, but the older folks older than me, love them. I love saying hi. I love talking to them. You know, they're beautiful people. And, you know, I know they have their faults. We all have our faults, but I learn more from them than I learn from anybody my age. From anybody my age. Maybe when I was a kid, I learned a lot from older folks too, but not really, because all they would do back then was just beat you. If you didn't listen to anything that they had to say, or you listened and then you were a kid, you got to repeat that stuff. You know, programming. They didn't want to program because they weren't programmed. They didn't know, and they didn't have discipline. They were just existing, you know, paying bills. And then blaming us because they had to pay bills. What? So self-control will lead you a long way. It is very difficult nowadays to have self-control because everybody is out of control. And if you try to talk to somebody to have self-control, it's not going to work. So I'm not saying don't be social, but I'm saying observe how you're feeling. Observe, you know, the tension, the untension, the ridiculousness that you see, that you feel, and avoid it. Or, you know, if you have to impact it, then so be it. But you got to be careful, because nobody out here has been taught self-control. Everyone has been taught, especially in America. I'm talking about America, which is, by the way, America, because America is rare nowadays, right? So it's a whole different world. And I get that, you know, the world changes. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. And I watch it and I see and I observe it. Ooh, I just got to say, I'm glad I'm not there, because it would be horrible for me and others. But just to see how people treat each other, and you know, the self-disrespect that they had, they disrespect themselves by disrespecting others. You only reflect in what you feel about yourself how you treat others. That's a fact. I know that for a fact. So self-control is very I say it's very invigorating, right? Right? It's kind of like, what do you mean invigorating? Yeah, it is. Because when you're in a situation and you're used to handling it in such a way, so basically, let's just say put yourself in a different environment with different minded people, with people who don't think like you. I don't know if you could do that because you don't probably want to think outside the box and challenge yourself. And then it's scary. It is very scary because you know, but you shouldn't rely on what the other person's going to do. Always take control, self-control. Self-control will allow you to control any situation, because you have self-control. So when you're able to, I like to say pre-think, right, a situation before you say something, before you reply to someone, before you do something that you know is gonna bring you to a point where you don't want to be, right? Like make you make a, it's not even a decision or a choice. It's just impulsively do the same thing over and over and over and over again. You know, that's the definition of what they say. That's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. That's what they call people who are crazy. They do the same thing over and over again, knowing it's hurting them, and they're expecting a different result. How is that? If you have no self-control, you're not going to get a different result. It's going to be the same over. You know, those are those are people who are living in a dream. I was going to say nightmare, but that's not really a nightmare. I have nightmares. You know, people are living in a dream where they're stuck in this spell, and their life means something to them, but not really, because they don't know how to have self-control. You know, for instance, I walk into Walmart. Oh, you got to have self-control when you're in Walmart. Am I right? Am I right? Anybody go to Walmart in America? Any you guys are on here? Have you gone to Walmart? Even right now, even at Publix. I'm in. Hello. Say so, wish you do. So, okay, so you go to Publix. I go to Publix because it's cheap, right? I can afford the things that I get. However, because I'm not eating the way I used to, I got to go to other places which the food is expensive. You know, I eat fruits and veggies. On occasion, I'll eat some meat, right? I'm not a meat eater, but I don't eat meat every single day. So I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, which is why I lost so much weight. I lost a lot of weight. I was about 250, 60 pounds. I'm 5'7". I'm like 180, my actual weight, the weight that I should be according to the medical system, right? So have you gone in Walmart? So there's certain times I go to Walmart. I don't go to Walmart in the evening. I don't go to Walmart at night, and not even in the afternoon. I try to go early in the morning. But even when you do, or let's just say, I gotta make sure. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Love your soul, not your role. Wake up. Omni Cosmic in the house, talking sense, right? So self-control. You go in Walmart. You know what you need, right? You got your list. The moment you enter it's like a demon world. The moment you enter the door, you know they give you that only Sundays. There you go, only Sunday. But sometimes Sundays they don't have everything because they resupply, I think, on Wednesdays. Am I right? I don't know. It depends on the store, I suppose, right? Where the store is located. But Sundays are good. But see how you said only Sundays? Just like you have that thought, so does everybody else. And you know how I noticed what I'm telling you? Say what you do. How do you say your name? Because I used to say, I like driving. I love driving. I drive everywhere, right? I do. I drive my car. And when I have my motorcycle, I go everywhere. And I say, and I learn a route. And I'll say, right now I'm learning routes not to be on these particular highways that are here because they're very busy all the time. So I'm figuring out the back roads, and I'm beginning to know them very well. So I normally don't have to hit those busy highway country roads, state roads. So anyway, when you get in there, even when you don't go in right when you park in the lot, am I right? How do you feel? Don't you go, oh man, I gotta go to Walmart, right? Even way before you even get in your car to get to Walmart, you get that feeling, don't you? Oh, I get a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So this is where self-control comes in. You gotta go. You gotta go because they got the best prices, right? They got, especially if you have a family, children, babies that you have to food, that you know you got to feed, you know, and you go in there and woo. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's facts. You know, and then, you know, people will mean mug you. Listen, because you're in there, it's like a mad dash, right? Everybody's trying to get it. I'm like, I don't understand. You know, like, I know we're at war. The entire world. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know if you guys have been pacified. You probably have, but we're at war. We just took over a country. We just took over a country, and we're about to take over another country. That's war. That's war. So maybe people are stuck in that fear, the lower hemisphere, the lower part of their chakras, right? Fear. Everybody's in fear, so everybody goes in there. Listen, if you reach for something too slow or you're taking your time, hello. Me, I go in there and I read like labels. Like I said, I changed my diet. I do not try to pass the produce aisle, which they put it right in front, right? So most Walmarts, most stores, they have this marketing system. Listen, I watched this documentary on Tubi. So I watch Tubi. I don't watch Netflix. I don't pay for none of that stuff. I don't even pay for YouTube. I'm about to start paying for YouTube because I'm always on it. And they got some cool perks. In terms of, like, you know, watching sports and, you know, and I don't watch sports, but, you know, like watching movies. I like to watch movies. Where am I from? Like right now? Be more specific. Where am I from? Where was I born? Right now I'm in Florida, Central Florida. I'm from Boston, Beantown. That's what we call it. So now that you know that, you know, so when you get in there, even before you get in there, you gotta have your head on a swivel, right? You got mamas yelling at their babies. You know, I'm like, I hope she don't hit that baby in front of me, because I will say something, right? Because I was abused as a kid, and listen, I cry when I see that. I haven't seen it. Like, there was this lady yelling at her kid. Come on, I can't sit, like, just yelling. I was about to be like, can't you? But you know what she's gonna do? She's gonna start yelling at me. She's gonna cause a ruckus because that's what she wants. She wants somebody to, you know, to tell her to stop doing that. But she's a narcissist. She's an evil person, and she shouldn't have kids. You shouldn't have children to beat them. To beat your children in public and then embarrass them and then expect them to be good children? You understand? That doesn't make any sense. And then you got the suspicious people, which most of them work there. They try to act like they don't work there. And then you got these are the worst people. These are the worst people in Walmart. The people who have to do the online orders. I'm talking about self-control. And I'm just making an example. The people who do online orders, they are very rude. They don't care if they cut you off in the aisle. And I look at them like, but I got to have self-control. And they know I'm looking at, and they don't look at me. Because if they look at me, you know the first thing they're gonna say, they're gonna go, what? Because I'm looking at them like this. Or, you know, they know what they did. They don't care. They don't have no self-control. They don't have no self-respect. You know, and they just do what they want to do, right? And listen to me. And I don't mean to say this, but back in my day, and that sounds dumb and stupid, it does, but I'm going to say it. You're not cutting me off in any sense, and not that I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just more observant now. I'm just more in control of myself. And I observe it, and I go on. If there's something that I need to say, there's this bird right there. OMG. Look at this guy. Let me see. Can you see him right there? See that guy? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's nice. I don't know. I'm in the middle of getting a divorce. I'm going to finalize it. Look at that guy. Isn't he cool? Right on top of a bush. I think I forgot the name of that bird. But this is where I am. It's nice and warm today. Thank you so much. I've been thinking about going there and checking it out. But thank you. That's really nice of you to say that. So I got some stuff to do. I got my passport. I'm planning on traveling. Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you so much for saying that. You made my day. Thank you. And so, you know, I know other countries. I used to love watching travel foodies. You know, foodies that go around the world. People have been to India, they've been to Morocco, they've been to Egypt, and they eat the food. China, Japan. And I love watching them because I used to love to cook. I still do. I just don't have the space to do so. But I used to love cooking. I still cook kind of more healthier than before. And I know that other countries have different, what we call in Spanish, acostumbres, customs. The way they treat each other, that's different. When you have self-control and you're in alignment, you appreciate that. Because I've seen some countries, woo. I've heard Paris, the people are rude. I don't know. I ain't never been there, but I'm pretty sure not everybody can be wrong. You know, all the people that I see that have gone over there. You know, when I was watching people travel for, like Andrew Zimmern, he was one of them. There's this other guy that I like to watch. He goes like to Vietnam, to places like that. Seoul. What's his name? Anyway, yeah, India. Yeah, I don't mind. I just haven't had the time, and maybe I will. But yeah, I've seen videos of people going to India. Yep. You guys can cook. You guys got some great food. I know that much. So, and this guy's one of them. His name just goes over my head right now. But so. Yeah, so when you walk into Walmart, you got all these people doing all these crazy things. For me, it seems like, whoa, these people are just, you know, oblivious even to each other, right? So self-control in that situation is like, you know, I'm just observing. I go in and out now. I go in and I'm out. I know exactly what I need. And you know, I'm right next to a Publix. I think you guys saw that right here. So normally I go in there, you see it right there? I don't know if you can see it. Normally I go in there, and here's the difference between Publix and Walmart. It's 100% customer friendly. Right now it's I don't know. I don't have it on my phone. It's 11:40, 45, and it's in the morning, a little before the mid-afternoon. So I'm not saying to put yourself in those situations where you need to express or experience self-control, but it's always good so that you can learn more about. You remember me? Isaac Boss 516. Where you remember me from, my friend? Thank you for coming in and making a comment. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up, wake up. Omni Cosmic here. Thank you for coming in and joining. Love your soul, not your role. We'll be a listener, not a talker, where we listen twice and speak once. I did that for you. Self-control is the best tool for growth. It is. You know, so self-control what? What are you self-controlling? Your emotions. Your reactions. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate it very much. It's very nice. How you respond to someone who you see is out of control and sense and listen. I do not recommend, you know, practicing, you know, these kind of things in actuality out with people, even though it's good to do so. But interactions with people nowadays is very dangerous, right? Everybody's carrying guns. Everybody has guns. Everybody's afraid. Everybody is nobody trusts nobody. Nobody trusts nobody. And this is what's being created now, because we're at war and it's about to get worse, right? But that's neither here nor there. But it is a factor in the pressures of life when you go outside and you see people and they're running and they're going here and they're being, you know, right? Yeah, right. And so self-awareness will give you self-control. You're like, oh, you know, because like I said, the entire world is emotional. Everybody's emotional. Everybody. And the people who are not emotional, you don't see them around because they know They know once they go outside and somebody says something out the side of their neck, or somebody says something disrespectful, or somebody, you have to practice self-control. Like, you know, you got to go, why did he say that? You know, why would he, you know? Because listen, I went to the store the other day, and she probably didn't mean anything by it, but for me, it was kind of rude, because this is what she said. So I went out and I bought some food. Again, I changed my diet. Sometimes I got to dig in it. You feel me? Sometimes I need some arroz con gandule, con carne guisado, ¿me entiende? Sometimes I need some of my Puerto Rican food. Sometimes. So I went to a place. It's kind of like a buffet. Most Puerto Rican places or Caribbean places, what they do is, there are some restaurants where you can sit down and order, but that food takes a long time to cook, like the rice, and it sits. And, you know, our food is, you know, it just takes a while to cook. So I went in there. So basically they have warmers. So what they do is they give you, you look at the menu, you go to the end to the cashier, and you walk and you look and you say, I want this, I want this, I want that. And they put it in a styrofoam container and they give it to you at the end of the line, and you pay. But before you get in the line, you want to look. So there's people in line. So say people are in front here and there's somebody walking in the background to see what they got. Let me see what they got. Let me see what they got. So when they get in line, they just know what to order. Most people. Some people just get in line and go, I don't want that. And then the person behind them gets frustrated, emotionally upset, because they're taking their time and they're hungry, they're hangry. Everybody's emotional. Everybody is extremely uncontrollably emotional. And emotions are okay, but you got to have self-control in order to express them correctly, so that you can release and not, you know, hold in what is bothering you. And most of the time, something that's bothering you is coming from somebody else. Facts. Wake up, wake up. You already know I'm the Cosmic in the house. Let me stop saying that. I said I was gonna stop saying that. I just got excited. Love your soul, natural. Come on and like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Self-control is a topic for the moment. I gotta go soon. So, but thank you for coming in and saying hello. Thank you for the invite to India. That's so nice. Thank you very much. Very much. I appreciate that. So you made my day, by the way. I gotta tell you. Well, you're on the other side. Where are you? Where are you? Did you say, are you in India? Is this the person from India? No, this is not from, you're not from India. Who's this person? Where are you? Isaac Boss 516. I'm in Florida, so today it's the daytime right now. It's Saturday. So is it Sunday over? No. Saturday night? Friday night? Yeah, it's weird. But you know, the moon and the sun. So if you're on this side, then it's gonna be dark. This is the moon, this is the sun, right? So where was I? Self-control. And awareness really gets you to self-control, right? Being aware, right? So again, a lot of people are emotional. A lot of people, like the whole world, is running on emotions. The music will control your emotions. The television, YouTube, right? Your family, your friends. If you don't have awareness and self-control of your emotions, you're just gonna fall in the same soup bowl as everybody else. And you're gonna come back to this place and repeat the same thing after you transcend. That's my purpose. I'm not coming back. I'm gonna learn everything I can at this age, because right now, I love to learn about anything. I love to learn about anything, believe me. I love learning about new stuff. Anything that I find interesting, I'm learning about it. And then I'm done, and I move on to the next. Jack of all trades, master of none. And I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. So, you know, and also check your emotions at the door too, right? Like, you know, collect yourself. Hold up. Let me get up in there, right? And if you wake up at home with a certain situation that you had prior to the day, prior, even that night, like if you had a nightmare or something, collect yourself before you go out into society and interact with these bozos. You know, the children nowadays are not being trained to be respectful, to be self-aware. They're being trained to watch television, to interact with you know, genderized politics. You know, that's what they're being trained to be emotional. That's it. Look at the children nowadays. Am I shaking my head like an old man? And they're all emotional. You can't say nothing to them. You can't criticize them. You can't. They will get emotional and they're gonna want to fight. You believe that? Listen here, I got no time for fighting. None. Absolutely none. Or arguing. I don't listen. I'm so in tune with myself that if somebody started arguing with me, I'm just walking away. And I don't put myself in those positions until I go to Walmart. Walmart is full of Walmartians. Not all of them, but all of them. And that's sad to say, because people who go to Walmart, you know, are going to Walmart because they're on a budget, because they can't afford, you know, exclusive things, right, from shops. You go to a shop nowadays, like a mom and pop shop, you spending some money. You spend a good amount of money. Sometimes it's good because, you know, you're getting the good stuff, you're getting the real stuff. Walmart is full of fake stuff. Almost all BJ's, whatever, all those other places, almost all of them, the stuff that they carry for you to consume is fake. The majority of it. And you better make sure that you heard what I just said, right? Because they're not selling you real food. They're not selling you they're selling you clothes with chemical. There's everything that they got in there, and I don't understand why. But I do. So, you know, self-control in traffic. You know, oh man, listen, I used to be a yeller until one day I cut this guy off, and he was yelling at me. He pulled up next to me. I didn't know. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, we were in traffic and I was trying to get to work. And this guy pulled over up next to me, pulled up on me. He started screaming. I was screaming back at him. I said, "What you want to do, man?" So I pulled up. I said, "You want to fight?" And I was on my way to work. I would have lost my job if he would have pulled up. So he stood there. He didn't go. He stayed in his car. He didn't go nowhere. I got out of my car. I pulled over to the sidewalk. I got out of my car and I said, "What you want to do? What's up?" Because he was yelling. And then he said to me, so, you know, at first I didn't know what he was yelling at me. He was just yelling at me. You know what I'm saying? He was Italian. Like that, right? I'm like, yo, what's up with this guy? You know, and we were in the middle of morning traffic in Orlando, Florida. So I got out the car, pulled over. I said, "What's up? What you want?" Listen, emotional. Talking about emotional. He didn't get out. So, and then he goes, "Hey, you cutting me off?" And I go, "I cut you off?" He goes, "Yeah," and I wasn't aware why he was yelling at me, honestly. So then I said, "All right, my bad, bro. I'm sorry." And he goes, "Eh? Are you sorry?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry if I cut you off." He goes, "Okay, you have a nice day." Listen, at that point I was like, I could have lost my job. It could have went bad because I was emotional. He was extreme. He's Italian. You know, I'm not saying all Italians are emotional, because not everybody's the same. You know, but, you know, where I'm from, everybody's emotional. And everybody's emotional now. You can't tell nobody nothing. You can't tell anybody the truth. Because they start crying, they call the police on you, they turn into Karens. What? Listen, not me. So self-control. Be aware of your thoughts. Collect yourself before you go out into the world. Right? Collect yourself. Align yourself. Do it. You could do like a 2-minute meditation. Dear Father God, great one, please give me the strength and the ability to get through this day. I give it to you. Do that. Make yourself smile. Look in the mirror and I'm beautiful and I'm gorgeous, and go outside and give everybody your beautiful and your gorgeousness. Just do it. You may get some looks. Who cares? Right? You're not in this world invoking negativity. That's what they're doing. Good for them. But you carry yourself the way you can show that you have self-respect, you have self-control, especially. And when people see that, people see this, you see that? It's a smile. Don't nobody like that now. I love smiling. Listen, I say hi to everybody. Some people, they go, and I get it. I'm not going, "Hey, I said hi to you." No, hello, hi. They don't say hi to me. They tell me go to hell. I'm going to keep it walking, because that's an impact to that individual that somebody said hi to them, no matter what their response is. right? And it's good. I like being around me. I like being around me. Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a negative person. And I like to spread it if I can, you know? So self-control. Find some books about it. You know, again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a man with experience, sharing some life experiences. And if you like it, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I come up with a topic, you know, when I can. Maybe this afternoon I will be reading the Bible. I do read the Bible. I'm going through it, the Old Testament right now. Ooh, the Old Testament. It's kind of like what's going on right now, and from what you see in the Old Testament, what you read, really. So love your soul, not your role. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for your likes. So like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, you bird. Wake up, wake up. I'll see you on the next one.